Welcome to the Battery Electric Vehicle Virtual Experience, featuring the all-new BZ Woodland. C-HR. And a special guest appearance by the BEV that started it all, BZ.
Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Mustafa, and with my co-host Thomas over here, we are going to be diving into two important additions to the Toyota lineup. The all-new 2026 Toyota BZ Woodland and the all-new C-HR.
Yeah, and I know everyone has this on their mind because it's the #1 question we get in chat. Do us a favor, please. Don't put your name, your information, your SPIN ID into our chat. This isn't how you actually get credit for the broadcast. So what we're going to do is at the end of the broadcast, we're going to put up a QR code for you to scan. There'll also be, if you're on your phone, a little link that you can go ahead and just touch and follow through. This is where you'll put your information. So you need to stay put for the whole broadcast, watch the broadcast, and we'll give you that QR code at the end. Okay, now let's make sure you're set up for the best experience possible. If you haven't already done so, click the bottom right corner of your screen and make the broadcast full screen.
And if you have any questions coming to mind during the broadcast today, go ahead and use the Kumu chat feature in the top right corner of the screen. We have some of our teammates reviewing your questions as they come in, and they're going to be responding with answers in real time. So how about you say we give it a little test drive? Let's give it a shot. So in case you weren't aware, we just announced the next Highlander is going to be a 100% battery electric vehicle. So in the chat, let's test it out. Let us know, have you checked out the press release for the new Highlander?
Yeah. And we're going to also have some other interaction throughout the session. We'll be sprinkling in some Mentimeter questions along the way. Now, prior to each segment, we're going to prompt you with that Mentimeter question. That'll be answered within the segment. What you'll do is you'll get scanned in, see it, and just hold tight with the question. When we give you the answer it, and we'll recap at the end.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about the roadmap for our time together today. We're going to start off with a quick BEV basics recap, just the foundational topics. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the Toyota BZ. Then we're going to talk BZ Woodland and C-HR. And we will be finishing up with an introduction to some neat resources on Engage that are meant to help you with your customers.
And by the end of the session, you should feel more confident explaining what makes the 2026 BZ Woodland and C-HR stand out, how they deliver on Toyota brand values, and how to position both vehicles against some key competitors.
All right, now let's introduce you to our first Mentimeter question of the day.
Yeah, go ahead and scan the QR code or visit the URL and enter the code at the top of the screen. We're going to give you a moment, about 15 seconds to get signed in. All right, here's the question. When a customer expresses range anxiety, what do you need to understand as a sales consultant? And be sure to listen for the answer, and Mustafa and I are going to go ahead and discuss some BEV basics.
Yeah, let's do that. So when people think about owning a BEV, two of the biggest questions that come up in their minds, how's the maintenance for this thing, and how will the whole charging stuff fit into my everyday life? So let's go ahead. Let's start off with talking about maintenance. One of the advantages of a BEV is you have fewer moving parts in a BEV than you do with a conventional gas or hybrid vehicle. But key takeaway, we need to remind people you still have the recommended 5K maintenance intervals. It's not, oh, no oil changes, I don't need to come in anymore. No, there's more.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's right. Like all vehicles, BEVs do require some regular care. Obviously, tire rotations every 5K. Fluid should be checked, and we also have cabin air filters and other basics.
All those foundational things remain. Now, on the note of maintaining things, let's talk about maintaining battery health. That's a question we hear often. Your daily driving and charging habits do play a role when it comes to your battery's longevity. So there's a few simple best practices that can make a difference over time. For example, charging the vehicle up to 100% every single day. You don't have to do it if you don't need the full range for the day ahead, so it's best not to. It's also best not to leave the vehicle parked for long periods of time, like if you're going for a 2-week vacation or something, when the vehicle is at a very low state of charge.
You know, charging is another area where it's becoming very easier than ever. So research says most charging takes place at home, and we know customers are concerned about fast charging, and this is where our NACS charging compatibility comes in. Now, drivers gain access through broader Level 3 charging network. This is better known as our DC fast charger. This allows drivers to go from about 10 to 80% battery in about 30 minutes. Now, this is under ideal conditions. We'll get to that a little more in a moment. Using public chargers also makes the most sense during long road trips. Now, to make things easier, plug-in charge capability within the Toyota app can actually simplify the process. Now, to know if a charging station is compatible with plug-in charge, it's going to show a PNC next to the station in the app. Now, once you have it activated, all you need to do is just give a couple taps on the app and you're set to go once you get plugged in at there. Now, as mentioned earlier, industry research has shown us that most BEV charging does take at home. So let's talk about some at-home charging.
Yeah, and having a great onboard charger is a big part of that story. Our latest BEVs, they all have an 11 kilowatt onboard charger. What does that mean? Improved Level 2 charging capability. So it means that you will get some meaningful range in just a few hours of Level 2 charging. You don't need to commit to an entire overnight period for the next day's commute.
Yes, I mean, you absolutely you don't, but also in many markets, people are going to charge overnight because electricity is actually cheaper. And with Level 2, you have the ability to go from 10 to 100% in around 7 hours, once again, under those ideal conditions. Now, this ability to go ahead and with that new onboard charger, get that meaningful charge in a shorter period of time quickly becomes one of the biggest lifestyle benefits of driving electric vehicles. The fact that you have the ability to start with a full charge, at various points, essentially a full tank of gas. Now, leaning into that whole ideal conditions, all 3 of our latest BEVs also feature battery preconditioning, which warms or cools the EV's battery to its optimal temperature. Now, this is to optimize charging speed efficiency and battery health. It's most effective when activated before DC fast charging or when in cold weather, allowing the battery to accept that power efficiency. And that's where we talk about the ideal conditions. It really essentially just gets the battery into a more ideal condition for a quicker charge.
That's how you can get closer to those published guideline times.
Correct.
Right on. Now, let's go ahead and let's talk about the BEV lifestyle as a whole. Before purchasing a BEV, it is super important to know how this vehicle is going to fit into everyday life. And we need to be able to address questions like, will the range comfortably cover my everyday routine? How easy is it to charge this thing at home? And are there public chargers nearby to where I'm going most often? There was somebody on the forums online, they were talking about BZ Woodland. And with the all-terrain tires, they said 260 miles of range estimate. It isn't enough for me. Now, we understand range anxiety is a thing for many people. It's a concern out there. But what I'm going to tell you is instead of obsessing over the maximum range number, it really helps if we refocus on how the vehicle fits everyday real-life driving habits. And this is where, as a sales consultant, really understanding the customer's individual driving habits is so important. You mentioned it, Thomas. You're starting the day off with potentially a full charge, which is, to me, mentally equivalent to a full tank of gas. That should cover the average commute. So I'd ask Mr. or Miss Customer, what's the current situation with their current vehicle? How often are they having to go to the gas station to refuel in a single day?
Yeah, obviously we don't wake up in the morning and you're concerned that, hey, got a full tank of gas. Do I have enough to do my daily driving needs? From there. And here, once you get comfortable with driving these vehicles and you understand how they're charging and that they do have range and that you don't always need to be charging, you recognize that that anxiety is going to fade real quick, from the first time you've owned one. So the best advice we can give you is take time yourself and for the customers to understand the customer's needs at the onset of the shopping experience. Having meaningful conversation with them, confidently address their concerns up front, comfort them, explain to them, use your vehicle, their current vehicle situation as an example. And in the end, owning a BEV is less about changing your lifestyle and more just simply about understanding the technology.
That's exactly it. And with easy to understand maintenance, easy charging options, thanks to the Toyota app that keeps on getting better and better with every update, it's all there to support you. That whole electric driving thing isn't as big a leap as it's been made out to be.
Absolutely. Okay, it's time to go ahead and review the Mentimeter question and see how you all did. So when a customer expresses range anxiety, what do you need to understand as a sales consultant?
All right, I'm looking at the results and overwhelming majority, almost every single one of you got that perfect. The customer's daily driving habits and how often they refuel. Well done.
Great work, everyone. All right, the people supporting chat have just reached out to us and they mentioned that they are getting a few names and spin IDs. And just as a reminder, you're going to receive credit for today's broadcast, but you need to wait to the end and scan the QR code. Do us a favor, ask them some product questions. I know you all want to say hi, get credit, but just don't give them the information there because there's nothing they can do with that on the backside.
Thanks for the reminder, Thomas. Yep. Now, since all three of these BEVs that we have in our lineup today are going to share the same platform, let's review some of the basic foundational traits of the vehicle that paved the way for our newest BEV additions, and that vehicle is the Toyota BZ. In case you weren't able to join us for the BZ virtual dealer education a few months ago, we have our colleague Anthony who's going to share some cool highlights with us here. And just as before, there is going to be a Mentimeter opportunity, so go ahead and keep your ears peeled for the answer to the following question. Which BZ grade has the maximum EPA estimated driving range rating? Now, let's check the BZ out.
I want to talk numbers first. The first number I want to talk about is the number 2. This vehicle comes in 2 trims, the XLE or the more premium limited trim. You also get 2 drivetrains. You can opt for the front wheel drive or the all-wheel drive. There are also 2 different battery packs. There is the 74.7 kilowatt hour battery and the 54.7 kilowatt hour battery. Now, the XLE front wheel drive plus with the 74.7 kilowatt hour battery will get an estimated 314 miles of range. In all-wheel drive, that's 288 miles of range. Now, the more economical 54.7 kilowatt hour battery gets 235 miles of range, which is actually pretty impressive. Next, I want to talk about horsepower. The horsepower on this vehicle has also been increased. The front-wheel drive model will see 221 horsepower, and the all-wheel drive saw a 50% increase in horsepower at 338 horsepower, taking this vehicle from 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds, which is actually pretty impressive. Now, let's walk around the vehicle and point out a few of the highlight features. The first thing you will notice is that the hammerhead design is still relevant. We just upgraded it ever so slightly. You do have the daytime running lights that trace the hammerhead design, giving it a more elegant and high-tech presence. I have the segmented multi-LED headlights that enhance visibility as you drive down the road. And as I come around the side of the vehicle, I'm sure a lot of you have already noticed the color match over fenders. Yes, 3 colors this year will have the color match over fenders. I have the windshield pearl right here. There will be a heavy metal and a midnight metallic black that share the color match over fenders. Now, for some of you who were a fan of the black fenders, the supersonic red and the blueprint will have the black over fenders as well. Next, we talk about the wheels. The XLE will have 18-inch capped aluminum wheels. The Limited gets the 20-inch machine finished aluminum alloy wheels for a more elegant design. Coming down to the side of the vehicle, the first thing you notice that the side profile has changed due to these simplified body lines. I also get smart key access on all 4 doors this year. As I come around to the back of the vehicle, You will notice that the LED lights continue and carry around the entire rear of the vehicle. This vehicle also has the hands-free power liftgate if you decide to use that feature. And when you open the trunk, you will see 27.7 cubic feet of space. This is the Limited, so it has the upgraded JBL 9-speaker sound system. There are 60/40 fold-down seats, and new this year is a 1,500-watt AC outlet. So if you're out camping or tailgating and you need to plug up a small appliance, you can do so from the back of your BZ. Now I want to come around to the rear of the vehicle, where you have 35.3 inches of leg room. This is the Limited, so you have the optional heated rear seats. There is a standard USB-C for both passengers that sit in the back. And if you look up top, the fixed panoramic sunroof has the center divider removed. We were able to do that while maintaining structural integrity. There's also a power sunshade that covers up that fixed panoramic sunroof for those days where you don't want the sun beaming down on you. Now, when I step into the vehicle, the first thing I notice is this 7-inch top-mounted multi-information display that's right in my visual line sight, so I can keep my eyes on the road as I drive. New this year are the paddle shifters that allow you to control your regenerative braking force depending on your driving preference. There is also a 14-inch Toyota audio multimedia screen. New this year are the dual Qi wireless chargers. We also retain the dial-style gear shifter, and there are various buttons that control your drive mode. So if you're feeling economical and you want to be in eco mode, if you want to feel sporty, you can put it in sport mode. There is also an X mode button on the all-wheel drive variant, just in case you get into a little sticky, light off-roading situation. X mode should be able to pull you out of that. The cup holders are larger this year. You can fit two 30-ounce containers in these cup holders, and the center console has also been redesigned. It opens from left to right. New feature this year. I also want to point out the dashboard. Now, the dashboard materials are this new soft touch material. If you remember from our previous generation, it was more of a rough, like carpet-like material. We got rid of that for a new soft touch material. There is ambient lighting throughout the interior cabin, on the doors and the dashboard, with 64 different customizable colors. You have the optional radiant leg heaters that can keep your legs and feet warm on days where you don't necessarily want to cut on the HVAC. The seats are heated and ventilated in the Limited model, and you also have 8-way adjustable power seats. Now I'm going to step around to the other side of the vehicle where we can talk about charging. All right, as I come around to the front of the vehicle, I want to point out one of the most important highlights. We have moved over to the North American Charging System, or J3400, according to the Society of Automotive Engineers. With the North American Charging System, our customers now have access to thousands of additional fast charging stations, alleviating that range anxiety that they may feel. This vehicle will also come with two adapters. One adapter will allow you to go to a CCS DC fast charger, just like the traditional BZ4X could. The other adapter will allow you to use J1772 charging plugs for level 1 or level 2. So if your home is already equipped for J1772 charging, you can simply use an adapter to charge your 2026 BZ without having to tear down your old equipment. This vehicle also comes standard with a dual voltage charging cable. This is very similar to what we had on the BZ4X, except this year, the charging plug has been configured for NACS. Just like the previous model, this charging plug comes with two adapter heads. So if you want to charge with level 1, 120 volt AC charging, you simply plug it in and you start charging level 1. But if you have the option to charge level 2, 240 volt, you simply swap out the heads, and now you're charging level 2, 240 volts with your new BZ. This vehicle also comes equipped with Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, our suite of safety and convenience features. So this is the 2026 Toyota BZ. It should be hitting stores in late 2025, and I'm excited for everyone to get the opportunity to drive this amazing battery electric vehicle. Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's review the Mentimeter question. Which BZ grade has the max EPA estimated driving range?
All right, and the correct answer is, again, slam dunk, most of you, XLE Front Wheel Drive Plus. 314 miles, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And keep in mind, that's a range rating. There's various things like normal fuel economy that will impact that.
Right.
So when range is most important to a customer, that's the Toyota BEV to show them. And now that we've covered BZ, it's time to learn about BZ Woodland, right, Mustafa?
Yep, you know, I'm a little excited about that one because I had a chance to check out the BZ Woodland firsthand, and I filmed a really quick walk around to go ahead and give you an introduction to our adventure lifestyle BEV. Now, before we look at that quick segment, listen closely. You knew it's coming. Another Mentimeter question is coming up, and that question is going to be true or false. BZ Woodland is available both in front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. So keep an ear out on the next segment. And in case you did close out the Mentimeter tab or you're just joining in late, just scan the QR code that's going to come up on screen and you'll be back into it. Thanks for the engagement, and let's check out BZ Woodland. Hello everyone, I'm excited to take you through your first in-depth look at the first ever Toyota BZ Woodland. This vehicle marks a significant milestone for us. When we say we're a full-line manufacturer, it's not only in terms of electrified powertrains, but it's now in terms of having multiple BEVs for so many different lifestyles too. This all-new BZ Woodland builds upon the overall improvements we recently saw in the new BZ, but in this execution, all of those upgrades come together in a uniquely rugged package. Now, there's some family resemblance you'll notice between the BZ and the BZ Woodland, namely the signature hammerhead design treatment up front. But it also has its unique treatments too. This molded cladding here, it's exclusive to Woodland, and it stretches quite a bit further up. Now, let's take a look at some of the distinct highlights of the BZ Woodland. Right off the bat, you can tell this vehicle is bigger. It's approximately 6 inches longer in overall length and 1 inch taller in height. These roof rails, they're also standard on the BZ Woodland. And check out this open step area to help you more easily access those roof rails as well. And while we're here, take a look at these available all-terrain tires. We are ready to go off the beaten path, and even when we're just local, these are a statement all their own. I mentioned 6 additional inches of overall length compared to the BZ, but here's where you can really see all the benefit that comes with that. I think we're ready to pack all our gear for the next weekend adventure. And just in case we need a little more room, these standard 60/40 folding seats are going to help make sure everything fits right in. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the interior highlights. Hop in with me. We're in the most powerful seat in the house now. For those of you who are familiar with the BZ, the steering wheel, paddle shifters, and multi-information display will look familiar. However, one key distinction between these two vehicles, no front-wheel drive option on the BZ Woodland. It's 100% all-wheel drive with X mode. The grip control switch also makes an appearance here too. But that's just one part of the confidence that I feel when I hop into this thing. I'm sitting higher compared to the BZ as well, about 8.3 inches of ground clearance in this model. Another reason why I feel great confidence when I'm in this seat is the BZ Woodland is Toyota's most powerful BEV in the lineup today. 375 manufacturer estimated horsepower comes standard. But that's not the only thing that I want to focus on in terms of standard features. Take, for example, dual Qi compatible wireless charging capability, this beautiful 14-inch Toyota audio multimedia touchscreen, 4 USB-C charging ports throughout the cabin, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, so everyone stays charged up, heated front seats with 8-way power adjustability, a heated steering wheel, and I'm a huge fan of the ambient lighting, and all of the up to 64 colors to match your mood. Also of note, the Woodland comes in just one grade, but there is a premium package available for those who want more. That premium package will add JBL premium audio, a digital rear view mirror, ventilated front seats, front radiant heaters, 2-position memory settings for the driver's seat and side view mirrors, and a fixed glass panoramic roof. Those are just some of the key interior highlights I wanted to share with you for the all-new BZ Woodland. As we wrap up, I do want to reinforce a standard NACS port and standard CCS adapter will help make sure that no matter which type of charging station is at the next campground, we're going to be all set. Now, let's go places.
All right, we're back. Let's take a look at the question and see how you did. We asked true or false. BZ Woodland is available in both front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive.
And over 100 of you were paying perfect attention because the correct answer is indeed false. BZ Woodland is going to be 100% all-wheel drive. And I'm a huge fan of the powertrain setup we have for this vehicle. Just think about that impressive towing capacity of 3,500 pounds. Think about that X mode. I mentioned the grip control switch. It's a really neat feature to acquaint yourself with. It will allow drivers to select a drive mode based on varying terrain conditions. So it is a complete package for that rugged enthusiast. Thanks for the participation, everyone. Now, I think we've set the stage for our next BEV, the C-HR.
Absolutely, that's right. For 2026, C-HR returns to the U.S. market. Now, C-HR has always been about making emotional connection. You can see some emotion here with it. But with 338 horsepower, 4.9 second 0 to 60 time, and you combine that with its eye-catching design, it truly makes an emotional connection beyond its great styling. Now, like Mustafa with BZ Woodland, I had the chance to do a walk around with C-HR. And of course, we have another Mentimeter question, so let's look at that real quick. Which of the following signature features is a signature feature of C-HR? All right, let's take a look at the sporty option of our BEV lineup. C-HR made its debut in 2018, and the first generation ran through 2022. Now, we didn't have the second generation here in the United States, but it did go on with great success in other global markets. For model year 2026, C-HR returns as a premium battery electric vehicle sitting on the eTNGA platform with BZ and BZ Woodland. Now, it shares the same structure and powertrain as those vehicles. However, C-HR has its own bold, edgy design with the focus on a refined and exhilarating driving experience. So, let's talk numbers. 338 net combined horsepower, a manufacturer estimated 5-second 0 to 60 time, a manufacturer estimated 290-mile total EV driving range. C-HR is going to come in two grades, SE and XSE, as we see here. Now, both grades are exclusively offered in all-wheel drive. Some other common features that it is going to have with BZ Woodland are going to be the 74.7 kilowatt hour battery, the 11 kilowatt onboard charger, and the battery preconditioning. And what we're really excited about here is the compatibility with the North American Charging System, NACS, charging network. It will come with a J1772 and CCS1 adapter, and those two combined are going to give the vehicle a wide access of availability to public charging stations. One thing C-HR has always been is about bold styling, and the 2026 certainly carries on with that legacy. Let's start up top here with the hammerhead design. Now, this really comes to life with the daytime running lights, full LED. As we move down to the lower portion of the bumper, you're going to see we have this wide lower grille. This is really going to give the vehicle an athletic stance appearance. And then if we kind of move up, we have our headlamps here flanked on the lower side that actually have that wide body style. So let's move along here along the side of the vehicle. So the XSE, as we see here, we're going to have 20-inch alloy wheels in this black gray finish. Now the SE, that's going to have an 18-inch wheel with a very stylish wheel cover. We have a matte black lower trim that flows along the side of the vehicle. This is going to be matte black on both grades. As we move up, we have this gloss black exterior mirror, and this vehicle is equipped with an optional two-tone, so it's a midnight metallic black roof, but we do have the integrated roof rail giving the option of additional storage up top. Another great thing that I absolutely love about the 2026 is that it carried in its signature rear door handle that's fully integrated into the C-pillar, which is mechanical and easy to open and close. As we move to the back of the vehicle, the first thing I'm going to point out is the color match upper spoiler. Now this is going to match the paint color of the roof. As we flow down the window, we're going to get into a gloss black lip spoiler. And then we have a wonderful styling accent of a LED light strip across the back. And all badging will be gloss black. Now, both grades are going to have a power lift gate. And we have a wonderful amount of storage considering the size of the vehicle. With the seats up, it's 25.4 cubic feet. Now, at the time of the recording, we do not have the final spec regarding with the seats folded down. But there is a 60/40 fold down rear seat that gives the option of having a rear passenger and some longer cargo at the same time. So we take a look at the deck here. You're going to see we have two separate covers. It's one compartment. Now this vehicle is equipped with the optional JBL audio system. And we see here is a 9-inch subwoofer. Now, if we move over to the passenger side, we do have the 120 volt AC 1500 watt inverter. So as I wrap up the back here of the vehicle, one last thing I want to point out is we have this hard-sided cargo cover that actually give you some little extra protection and hide your interior items if desired. So that wraps up the rear of the vehicle. I'm going to go ahead and meet you on the inside of the vehicle. One thing I look for in a vehicle is natural body movement when entering and exiting a vehicle, and C-HR certainly delivers. So the first thing I'm going to point out here is you're going to see it's a very familiar look and feel from here forward in the vehicle, and that's because, yes, we do share these components with BZ and BZ Woodland. However, C-HR is going to have some of its own unique interior design components. So first, starting with this linear design that we have on the upper dash panel, and then the seating's different in the vehicle. So here in the XSE, we have 8-way power driver and passenger front seats, and we have a driver side memory function. Now the SE is going to have the 8-way power driver. It'll be a 6-way manual passenger, and there'll be no memory function. In terms of seating material, here on the XSE, we are looking at a suede insert and a Softex exterior trim. Now this color is bolder and black is the other color available. The SE will have a fabric insert, but it'll still have that Softex exterior. As we move forward, we have a 14-inch Toyota Audio multimedia touchscreen, and this is going to have fully integrated HVAC controls, so it is a dual zone climate. Each side can have their own control. We also have standard heated front seats, and we have standard heated steering wheel. In terms of audio, we have a 6-speaker standard system. Now this vehicle is equipped with the optional JBL 9-speaker premium audio system that has a total of 800 watts of power. And those 9 speakers do include the subwoofer. So we'll start up here a little bit with the steering wheel. We have our regenerative braking paddle shifters that you're able to adjust your regeneration. We have full-on steering controls, and we have a heated steering wheel. So we kind of slide over to the middle. We have 2 Qi wireless chargers. Then followed, we have all of our drive mode controls, so our eco mode, snow mode, etc. Then we also have our electronic parking brake and brake hold function. We shift back to 2 front cup holders. There's additional cup holders in the door if needed to carry multiple bottles. And then also we have a very comfortable, I think, amply wide center console here that both driver and passenger can rest their arms on. It has a 2-way open function as well, so people can access what's in there. Other couple of things I'd like to point out is our fully digital our fully digital gauge cluster actually being out in front way. It really keeps things at a natural eye movement as we look, and you're looking, you can see the road, eliminating the need for a head-up display. In terms of options and packages, now I've covered the JBL premium audio system, but we are going to offer a cold weather package. Now this is going to consist of heated outbound rear seats and headlamp washer. And one of the other features I'm really enjoy and excited about is the fixed glass panoramic roof that we have here in this vehicle. It's going to come with a retractable sunshade. Well, that covers everything in the front of the vehicle in terms of the interior. I'm going to go ahead and meet you in the back seat. Now, before I enter the vehicle, one feature I'd like to point out is the ability for the rear seats to have a little recline. This is really going to change the dynamics of the rear seat. So notice as I enter the vehicle, once again, that natural body movement of getting into the vehicle. There's no way I need to strain, I just climb in at 5 feet 9 inches. So I have the driver's seat in the position that I would be driving in. And you can see I have ample leg room. I have good headroom as well. I'm very comfortable. Can even take the comfort to another level by lowering down the center armrest. It's wide, it's ample for both passengers in the rear seats. A couple cup holders, a great place to store your personal smartphone device. We also have 2 USB-C ports as we move forward on the center console that give us the ability to charge both devices at the same time. Rear HVAC vents keeping the occupants comfortable, and there's a back seat pocket that allows somebody to put something like a tablet or something else that's sitting back here for storage. Well, that about covers everything in the rear seat of the vehicle or in the interior overall. I'm going to exit the vehicle, step around to the side of the vehicle, and cover some final details. This wonderful new color we're looking at here is Tandoori. Now, other available colors are going to be cement, windchill pearl, and midnight metallic black. As noted earlier, this vehicle is equipped with the optional 2-tone midnight metallic black roof, which is also available on cement and windchill pearl. Now, one of the great things I like about Toyota is that active safety and convenience comes standard on every vehicle in the form of Toyota Safety Sense. The 2026 C-HR has the TSS or Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 package. Now, we're really excited about this new energy the 2026 C-HR brings to Toyota's battery electric vehicle lineup. With its bold styling and great performance, it's surely aimed to please.
All right, everyone, let's go ahead and review our Mentimeter results from this segment all about C-HR. You're right about the emotional play. I can tell you have a favorite vehicle.
It is. It's just so much fun to drive now.
That's it. And we can't wait for you to get a chance to experience that too. So, again, our question was, which of the following is a signature feature of the C-HR nameplate? The correct answer is the integrated rear door handles. If you know C-HR from before, you know this is something that has stayed across the generations.
Absolutely. And we understand that we've thrown a lot of detailed information at you, and it's a lot to keep track of. So don't worry, we're going to share some fantastic resources you can use to brush up on your talking points, and of course, it'll be on both vehicles.
Yep, we have created a few handy placemats for you. Let's take a look at our competitive placemats that you can find on Engage. These documents are there to help you compare our vehicles against the competition quickly and clearly.
And we'll show you how you can use the placemats during customer conversations on the showroom floor. But first, we got to take a look at the Mentimeter question. All right, here it is. Which of the following do the placemats allow you to do? And as always, listen for the answer as Mustafa and I go ahead and discuss the resources.
Yeah, let's start off first off with Thinking of these placemats as essentially a shortcut for you. They're not meant to make you memorize a bunch of specs. They're designed to help provide clarity for you when you're chatting with your customers who may be considering one of our top competitors. So let's maybe chat through an example of how we can use them. Let's start off with a BZ Woodland competitive placemat for this one. What'd you say, Tom?
Absolutely. Let's say we have a customer who's considering a plug-in hybrid, battery electric vehicle, but they want to ensure it's capable of handling more rugged paths, just beyond your typical city streets. They mentioned recently they checked out a Hyundai Ioniq 5 XRT, and they really are leaning towards that BEV. Now, the placemat can help you formulate some talking points and tracks, and they're there to help.
That's exactly what they're here to do. They're here to help you. Let them do the heavy lifting based upon what this customer is presenting as their personal wants, their wish list, etc. So I say you can even look at the placemat together, print it out, you can put it side by side with the customer, and in this example that Thomas shared with us, focus really on where BZ Woodland shines against this XRT vehicle.
Yeah, we could take it a little further. They shared that they were interested in the BEV with that rugged capability, but like any needs assessment, you're going to want to dig deeper and understand more about that rugged capability and what it looks like on the backside. So ask the customer point blank, what do you use your vehicle for? And let's say they respond with, hey, I love to go camping and occasionally tow a light trailer.
As soon as I hear trailer, my eyes are going to look for the towing capacity section on this document. You can easily show them BZ Woodland beats out all of the top competition thanks to the highest towing capacity on that sheet.
Yeah. And there's more there too. You can also use the placemat to highlight one or two other advantages if you're looking at it together and explain how these advantages potentially could help them specifically based on their needs or wants that they expressed.
Yeah, you can really tailor it to the conversation. There's a few elements on there, not just one. For example, on the bottom of the document that we're looking at, there's a few talking points that could come up when someone is comparing a Toyota BEV to the competition. These comments on the bottom, they represent some general sentiments, the kind you'll see in a social media video or media review. The C-HR placemat also has this same section at the bottom. Now, of course, we don't expect you to memorize all of this, but we want to give you some thought starters just so you're prepared to respond to some of the most common concerns out there.
And I want to briefly point out that there's so much more that we add there, like horsepower, range ratings, and other very unique highlights.
Absolutely. It's supposed to be a one-stop shop, and we hope it'll be helpful in that regard. And as we mentioned previously, the C-HR competitive placemat has the same format as the BZ Woodland version. That way you can line up the Toyota vehicle side by side with the competition.
Yeah, and we designed these placemats to cover the top 5 talking points. And, for example, let's take a look at the C-HR placemat. You have a customer who potentially is wondering how the size of the C-HR compares to its closest competitors. As you can see here, we have all 3 vehicles lined up side by side with their spec. Now, we even included that C-HR. It has a powered liftgate where the competition does not. So we look for some fun wins or things that we may potentially have on those crossovers that our competition does not.
Yeah, and those nuggets can help give someone an aha moment. Oh, I didn't know you have that. No one else had it. So it's a good feeling there. So I know we're getting tight on timing as we're wrapping up. So I do want to put in a plug for several upcoming meeting in a box assets that we're working on pretty actively right now. They're coming soon, and the intention behind those, we want to bring everyone up to speed on all of our BEVs as easily as possible.
That's right. And look, we understand that your time is valuable in the dealership, so we designed these to be very quick hitting.
That's exactly it. And we have both product and competitive meeting in a box modules, and they will have 3 different approaches, all tailored to the time that you have available. These resources are meant to be used by a sales manager or a training manager during sales meetings or any training huddles you might have. They are all there to get you up to speed quickly. And they'll be using resources similar to the ones that we just showed you, like those placemats. And they're all going to be on Engage.
Yep. All right, it's time to review our final Mentimeter question, which was, which of the following do the placemats allow you to do? And we got the results here. Yes, most of you said provide clarity to the customer. Obviously, that's the correct answer. But really, the purpose of these placemats is to help you share important details with your customers without requiring you to perform time-consuming research away from them.
100%. These are a shortcut for you when you're on the showroom floor. And another great resource is going to be the Sales Consultant Guide, also on its way pretty soon on Engage. This document will provide not only the hard numbered specs, but also colors, option packages, and it's all going to be in one handy document that you can have. And you can share that with your customers as well. Instead of having to run around or scramble for what was the spec on that again or what's in that package, you can confidently guide the conversation and you can answer questions right there on the spot. Well, I think we are officially done with our time slot today, but thanks for being with us. All of these broadcasts that we create, they're for you. We want to give you more tools, more talking points. That way you can be the very best at what you're doing.
And on the note of resources, before we let you go, I want to let you know where you can find them. They're all on Engage, and are you ready for this? Under the Resources tab within each vehicle page.
Go to Resources for the resources. I got you. Well, thank you again for joining us and for everything you're doing every day. We are excited for you to get behind the wheel. So hopefully we're going to see these on lots very soon. And don't forget, this is what you've been waiting for. Get your credit. There's going to be a QR code coming up and a URL. Scan that, get that credit, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you again.